And we are back, boys and girls. We had a sudden dropout there real quickly, it looks like, but we are good to go now with the front of the A race. As I was saying, we have today in the world of Zwift the KISS EU race with an A, B, C, and D category. We are currently following the A racers, and they're about to head on up toward Box Hill right now. We do have a lead group, it looks like, of about, looks like we have in here over 20 riders or so in this lead group. A lot of the familiar heavy hitters, it looks like, have made the lead group now, as we do see Fleetwood, Adam Webb is in there as well as Chilon coming from France, along with M. Burton from the TFC. It looks like Bradeur is in there also from Vision Cycling. McIntosh, though, from Team Experimental. And in the A race, in the A category, these boys will be holding over 4 watts per kilogram. That is the assumption if you are jumping into the A category. It does look like a few of the racers are resting up just a little bit. 132, as you can see here. Oxenham. Quentin Lefay is in there as well from Vision Cycling. 144 beats per minute. Fleetwood 158. Up toward the front, though, we do have Neil Law, actually, from Team Experimental. Haven't seen him in the races in quite a while. 180 beats per minute, though, right now, trying to hang on to that pace at the front. As they hit Box Hill, this will be the first separations for the A category. And so racers are hammering now at this point as they're going to head into the climb, and it's going to be about 5% gradient all the way to the top. And this will definitely be the first selection process out on course today. So if you're unfamiliar with Zwift racing, what is going on right now is 4 categories, all out on course. 2 of them will be doing 2 laps out on the London Loop, and the other 2 categories, the C and the D categories, will be doing 1 lap, I believe, out there today. And so for the A's, again, 4 watts per kilogram or higher. For the B's, 3.2 to 4.0 watts per kilogram. For the C's and the D's, C category, it is assumed that you're going to be holding somewhere between 2.5 and 3.2 watts per kilogram out there for your power, your watts. That is in the upper left hand corner, as you can see over here on the at the top of my screen above me, above the live results from zwiftpower.com. And then in so when you take, as far as the watts per kilogram, some people might not know what the heck are you talking about. I'm just jumping into Zwift, I'm just jumping into cycling. So on the right hand side, you can actually see a ratio that Adam Webb is putting out right now, almost 6 watts per kilogram, which is a crazy effort. Szerzynski trying to follow it up there, 173 beats per minute, as you can see here. Quentin Lefay there as well, 173 beats per minute, as well as Amblard there, 162. And they're all holding right around that 6 watts per kilogram. That is how many watts they're holding for the weight in kilograms that they have on their body. And so the riders here having to hold that that kind of watts per kilogram is going to tell you how strong a rider is a lot of times, for how fast, how much power they can produce to move that body weight forward, especially when it comes to uphill. And as you can see, this is where the watts per kilogram is really kicked up. And the assumption here then in the A category will be 4 watts per kilogram or higher for the duration of the race. So the first initial split has happened. It looks like with M. Schwartz here about 1 second back. Bradeur here out from Vision Cycling. Oxenham is there as well, 2 seconds back. And this will probably be the main split out here as they work their way forward in the front group. About 4 seconds already going out in that initial 6% to 7% gradient. As you can see now, it's kicked into 7 to 8% again, and it just continues to go out, as at the front we do have Szerzynski and Webb. Lefay here just trying to hang on, 175 beats per minute. Bradeur here 167. Jay Leclerc is there as well from the KRT team. And speaking of teams, there are teams that have developed over the last 2 years in Zwift or so. And as you can see, organized teams, as you can see Vision Cycling here with Quentin Lefay and Adam Webb making their way toward the front. Jay Labrador here is there as well from France. Then we do have the KRT team being represented here with Jay Leclerc coming out of Canada. And if we can get a good side shot here, a front shot, you can see in-game kits are also definitely something that has been developed over time with these teams. And so the KISS racing team here hanging out at the back of this front group. We also have Team Poland, which has some of the teams that do not have an in-game kit. They do take advantage of the colors, though, that are in the game for their team. And as you can see, Team Poland with the red and white there with the in-Gamba kit from Szerzynski that they have been using. Team TFC is there as well, just behind me. You did see just a moment there over the shoulder from M. Burton there, the TFC team. He's also hanging out on that pink Tron bike here. They use that CRCA kit, as you can see there. So moving our way back, then we can see a couple of KRT boys. It looks like the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog, has made it into the race here, trying to hammer at the front about 4.5 watts per kilogram with Fleetwood. McIntosh there from Team Experimental that hangs out in that Alienware looking kit there. An update on the Alienware kit with more black accent than the white Alienware head. So it looks like they're hanging strong here in this chase group with McIntosh and Oxenham. I don't think anybody's represented in the front group, though, from Team Experimental right now. It looks like they're going to try and make a chase, but 20 seconds up on Box Hill quickly goes out to about a minute plus, though, for these races a lot of times. We do have the start of the B races climb here coming into view. And we'll go ahead and merge them on over in, as we do see it looks like toward the front of this race, it will be Sternfalk trying to hang on with an attack from actually quite a ways up here. We do see it looks like M. Mardos, followed by D. Murray, S. Harrison, and Barry Bain. J. Rich from the KRT team just a little ways back, about 2 seconds. Can't let that go out too far. And this initial kick in that 6.6% gradient, and then it levels out just a little bit, and then it kicks up again to about a 5 to 8% gradient all the way to the top of the climb out on course here today. So definitely solid effort here coming from J. Rich as well as Pelosi, trying to get back on terms with the front of this race. Not sure if it's going to happen just yet, though, as Mardos and Harrison here are putting out a solid 5.3, 5.2 watts per kilogram. Harrison here, 186 beats per minute, so this is a serious, solid attack coming from Harrison. Barry there about 1 second back, as well as Mardos. Mardos without a heart rate monitor, though, and there are rules to the world of racing, definitely, that are set up by a lot of the race organizers. Many of the race organizers will not allow the riders to have a finish, actually, without a heart rate monitor. They will be relegated if they do not have a heart rate monitor on. So make sure that you're wearing those heart rate monitors, showing up. They want to make sure that you're at least throwing down some sort of beats per minute, putting out crazy amounts of wattage. It's just another way to make a double check on some of the riders' performances. So Mardos with Murray and Harrison here. Looks like Barry is able to make that front group as well. I do have Twitch chat open if anybody would like to chat with us. I also do have the social media integration going on as well. So if you would like to tweet at us at Z Community Live, you can go ahead and do so. And I should be able to bring those integrations right on in. So it does look like then back at the front of the A race, if we'll jump back into that, we do see it looks like we have Rue Riders, it looks like falling back at about 36 seconds now. It looks like that chase group's at, as the front runners do go up and over the top of the last little peak on Box Hill. Jay Liberdur now, along with Szerzynski, when getting away actually from Webb, who's always one of the favorites here, coming over the top with a crazy attack, knowing that there might be some, this might be a moment of truth for those front runners. Quentin Lefay along with Amblard here now trying to make that chase to Webb, but they're just going to have to let him go, it looks like. Schwartz along with Jay Lecoq and Burton here now trying to make the chase up to Quentin Lefay and Amblard. That first chase chase group out on course. So it looks like it's going to be Lafayette and Omblard here, making a solid chase. Webb here still chasing, solid effort coming from him here, trying to get back with Badur and Szerzynski, who have just gone off the front. They're absolutely gone at this point. So Oxenham then, it looks like in the third chase group here with McIntosh and Fleetwood just grabbing back on to this group with a couple of KRT boys. It looks like, well, actually just Sonic the Hedgehog here coming out of the UK. Do you see Rogers saying hi, Nathan, over there? Good to see you, Rogers, over at the Twitch channel, Zwift Community Live Twitch channel. I am going to go ahead and bring up the chat actually here live and make sure that we are getting all the updates from you guys and gals on Facebook here as we are live over on Zwift's Facebook. Good to see all of you hanging out in the broadcast here. Kyle Augustine, I am seeing you there along with Paul Howarth, as well as Deanna Lewis. Good to see you as well. Thanks for joining in for the broadcast here. If you have any questions about racing on Zwift, events on Zwift, how to get into them, we will, or anything else, I would love to answer them. That's what it's all about here. Letting you guys, giving you guys an awesome race broadcast, but at the same time, informing you all about the awesome platform of Zwift and how they have made cycling social and all the different kind of events that you can get into. Christian Ori Anderson says, rock and roll. Good to see you. The Kiss Vision Slaughterhouse. Go Vision. What's up, Jens? Good to see you over at the Facebook there. So as far as getting into a race event, if you would like to get into a race event, like the KISS EU, there are also ZTR, there are the Bolt Racing Team puts on some as well, I think with the PRS. There are tons and tons of races that go on every single day. There's the Aussie E-Crit series that's going on as well that we are covering. We covered 2 of those races with Jesper Anker this morning as well on Zwift Community Live. So there are tons and tons of races, too many to even name. But if you ever want to get into one, you can easily see them in the events section of your Zwift mobile link, or when you jump into the game on the right hand side after the pairing screen, there is a screen that comes up that shows all the riders that you can join. It shows all your friends up top that you follow, and then on the right hand side there's a bunch of list of group rides and races and different kinds of events that you can get into. You go ahead and select your category there that you believe that you fit into. A lot of times it's going to be the way that you're going to figure that out is if A category 4 watts per kilogram or higher, B category 3.2 to 4.0, and C category is going to be 2.5 to 3.2, D category is going to be 2.5 or less, and that is for your FTP, your functional threshold power, how many watts that you can hold for 1 hour straight divided by your body weight in kilograms. That gives you a ratio, and as you can see here, I'm Schwartz here at about that threshold level that is assumed for these front runners in the A category at about 4.0 watts per kilogram. You can always see your watts per kilogram on the right hand side. So you go ahead and select that category, and when you do select that category in the events, you will jump into the game, and about a half hour before the event starts, it will start a countdown in the lower right hand or lower left hand part of your screen, actually right where I'm sitting on the screen right now. There'll be a little pop-up that comes up that says your event's starting, and there's a little countdown timer. It says go ahead and join it, and when you do join it, it will put you into a starting gate area where you are held on a trainer while you sit on your trainer in your pain cave waiting to start with the rest of the riders, and then you will take off once the countdown finishes. A lot of the races are obviously get going right from the get-go, hammer time right from the get-go. It tends to be more of a cyclocross or mountain bike like start, so it and then it lead group will form a lot of times, but and then in the group rides there'll be directions a lot of times that tell you, hey, this is what it's all about. We're going to be holding 2.0 watts per kilogram, 3.0 watts per kilogram. We're going to be doing a tempo ride plus sprints, and usually there's a ride leader that has a little beacon over their head that you need to stay by, and they'll be giving directions that do show up on the front of your screen. So you want to get into any kind of group rides or events or races, that's how you do it out on Zwift. It looks like here now in this event, though, in the A category, we've got a lead group of 3 off the front, as Webb was able to catch back up to these boys. Webb here hammering away 131 beats per minute, followed by Berdor and Szerzynski here, 168 beats per minute. Burton about 30 seconds back, looks like, from the TFC team, trying to make that chase down with a group of 4 here with Schwartz, Lecoq, and Amblaut. Actually looks like Quentin Lefay is in there as well, so a group of 5, excuse me, as Vision Cycling sitting in, though, is not going to be making any kind of chase, I don't believe, as they do have 2 men in the break actually today. Fleetwood then about 30 seconds back from that chase group. This will be the second chase group out on course. Continuing, it looks like Stephen Fleetwood, Simon Oxenham, along with McIntosh, and then it looks like a Rue Riders is in there as well. I believe Oxenham actually raced already once today in the E-Crit Aussie Series actually this morning. So good to see him out there doing a double header today against the competition out on Zwift. Let's get back to the B race, though, as we can see the front end of that race just making their way through the underground. They've gone under the they've gone over Box Hill and had their deciding moments for the first lap out here today. We do have D. Murray, it looks like, with Mardos, Harrison, as well as Barry, have made their way up and over the top. Now, in the B category, as you can see above me, everyone in the top 10 has put out over 4.0 watts per kilogram. A lot of times, though, in the B race, you do have a fairly solid effort up front, and then it tends to drop down. But the categories are supposed to be based on your 20-minute power test. So I think we're going to have a lot of upgrades today in the B category, with some riders unable to actually hold on to their result, as you need to be in the correct category. And so what, I think a lot of times the race organizers will let a little bit slip up front, but then a lot of times they will cause some relegation after the first offense, I believe, a lot of times, if you do not upgrade. So I believe there will be a few upgrades. Everybody's going to be getting an upgrade today, it looks like, in the B category, at least within the top 10. But good for them. That's what it's all about, and a lot, about getting stronger and stronger. And Box Hill, London Loop definitely is one that puts people in the hurt locker, and is a very, very difficult course, and tends to really pull the most out of you in the because of the efforts that are needed in order to get up and over the top of Box Hill. We are seeing Augustine saying Szerzynski has his heart rate under 180 this week. He must be cruising. Stephen Dweed saying tiring just watching it. Looks like they're absolutely killing it. Lewis Dinsdale saying even Nathan and all tuning in from sunny Liverpool. Go KRT. Good to see you, Lewis Dinsdale, over at the Facebook feed. So it does look like now about 20 seconds back from this lead group, we do have a chaser solo now coming out of Italy. C. Pelosi, about 3.1 watts per kilogram, trying to get back with the front of this race. Not sure if he's going to be able to catch back up, though, as if you're unfamiliar with the racing out on Zwift, if you lose the pack travels so incredibly fast in comparison to the rest of, in comparison to a solo rider. So it's very, very difficult to get back with the group, and a lot of times you have to put out a full watt per kilogram more than the other riders that are in that group that you are chasing, or the riders that are trying to chase you down. Looks like we do have Jay Rich from the KRT team in this second chase group. Looks like Olgard hold on to that wheel with Harrison and T. Nagy. I believe Nagy already raced this morning as well in the E-Crit series. So a lot of these boys putting in double header efforts, man, morning and evening, it looks like, to get the most out of their Zwift experience through, and can't get enough of the racing, it looks like. Nagy here kicking it up into that 163 beats per minute, and actually just attacking, going right on by Rich and Harrison, and saying, I'm going to catch these front runners in this B category today. So back up toward the front, though, of the race, we do have, it looks like, a couple of attacks happening at the very pointy end of the race. Webb here along with Berdor and Szerzynski, about 21 seconds from Burton. But Burton and Swart here, 6.5 watts per kilogram. They're putting in a solid effort, kind of working together now to bring back the two Vision boys along with Szerzynski here. But with a crazy effort like this on the section of the course where a lot of these boys will be resting up in the front, just trying to hold on to their gap, they will have a lot more energy left in the legs in order to climb up and over the top of Box Hill, which is the deciding moments a lot of times, especially out on the course for the second lap. One lap down with about a lap and a half down almost here now, with half a lap to go. Box Hill and then down the other side, and it will be a quick and fast finish today. Probably right around the a little over 40-minute mark for these front runners in the A group. So it looks like about 30 seconds up for these front runners in the A's, Strzezinski with Bedore and Webb. As we're waiting for them to head on up over the top of Box Hill one more time and have these deciding moments out here, we just want to tell everybody about all the different things that are coming down the pipeline with Zwift Community Live. Obviously, this morning we had 4 back-to-back broadcasts with the eCrit series, followed by the Racer Focus with Mr. Ian Anderson, and then after that we had another eCrit series. We had eCrit series Australia East with Jesper Anker, followed by Ian Anderson's Racer Focus, and then right after that we had the Aussie ECrit Series West, I believe it was, and then after that we had Life in Cycling with Mrs. Coach. So 4 programs on Tuesday mornings right back to back. Then obviously we have the KISS EU now, and then tomorrow we'll be covering the SCR Racing Series as well. We may have, I believe, some tempo laps with sprints with Mr. Scotty Weiss tomorrow night, and then again we start all over again with some back-to-back racing focus and covering on Thursday with more eCrit series with Mr. Jesper Anker and Ian Anderson, as well as we will have on Thursday the KISS EU again. Later that night on Thursday we'll also have Zuzkana with the Women's Gateway Ride. If you'd like to jump into introduction to group riding out on Zwift, make sure to check that out on Thursday nights with presented by Zwift Fitness with Zuzkana. She goes ahead and leads about a 1.5 watt per kilogram ride specifically aimed at women who would like to get into riding group rides out on Zwift and hang out together and just get a solid workout. She leads that through a live stream. Also has a Discord open for that as well. So that's what's happening through Thursday. So if you would like to check out any of these broadcasts, the easiest way to do so is to go ahead on over to our Twitch channel and follow us there. You will get a live email notification every time that Zwift Community Live goes live. You can also follow our Facebook page and other social media places. We are also on Twitter at Z Community Live for any updates on anything that is going on with our broadcasts. All right, they're about to head into Box Hill now. It looks like Peter Strzezinski along with Bedore and Webb have held on to that gap of about 28 seconds at the front of the race here. Solid info here. Solid result here for these boys that they have been able to hold off Burton and the rest with this effort now. And now it's going to be the moment of truth for the 3 of them, whether or not they can break each other up and over the top of Box Hill. Webb actually fell off. It looks like something happened. I think he had a dropout, actually, as it looked like his avatar was standing still for a moment there. Maybe he had to jump off the bike for a moment. Webb now kicking it in the orange numbers before he even hits the hill, and this will put him into a serious point of struggle, I would think, as having to put out orange numbers before he even hits the hill. And now these boys able to just keep it steady. He had to burn a serious match there just to get back on terms with these boys, with a super low heart rate there still, though. And so definitely that was kind of crazy there, able to throw down up into but I know that he does actually beat fairly low, I believe, for his max heart rate. I do believe it's one of those that's right around that 160 or so, but now dropping again there. I think he's having some sort of dropouts as we're seeing 0 and then 7.3, then up again. It's trying to get everything he can out of the bike today. It seems like there's a little bit of a jumping around though with those wattages, so definitely some sort of an issue here coming from Webb. Strzezinski now at the front here just saying, forget whatever's happened with anybody around me. I'm just going to keep it consistent and steady at the front today. Bedore here now 7.2 watts per kilogram. It looks like just trying to hold on to the wheel. 167 beats per minute coming from him. Schwart now here with the steady effort at the front, seeing that these boys may be getting a little disorganized at the front of the race here. Going to try and close some things down. Quentin LeFay now knowing that he is not going to be chasing his teammates down with any kind of a draft from the other riders, is going to make his way to the front and try to close things down in order to be back at the front of the race. It looks like, knowing that Webb now has fallen off, maybe going to try and get back with him, as Webb's having some sort of issue with his power source. It seems like completely logged out at this point, and now we're going to have to do a quick little turnaround as he actually completely lost connection to the game. So there was definitely some sort of issue, it looks like, there with Webb's connection. So it drops out, and it looks like it's going to be LaFay now. Up to him to close it down here and drop off Schwartz and Amblard. Vision Cycling still has Labrador as well as Strzezinski at the front, just hanging on to his wheel, 178 beats per minute. 1-2 at the front now, followed by Quentin LaFay, it looks like. Now just getting a little bit of a gap over Schwartz. Schwartz, 5.0 watts per kilogram. Amblard's here as well, 5.0, just hanging on with Schwartz. This is your top five right now. Strzezinski, Bredor, LaFay, Amblard, and Schwartz. It looks like Burton here from the TFC in no man's land, being chased down by Fleetwood, McIntosh, and the Hedgehog, along with TM from Root Riders coming out of Germany. International field, a lot of French flags, it looks like, here at the front, though. 1, 2, and 3, actually. It looks like actually 2, 3, and 4 in the race, currently led out by Poland. And that's the awesome thing about the racing out on Zwift, is that it's connecting people from all over the world instantaneously, pushing each other from their living rooms or from wherever they're located with this trainer and their bike, hammering away against each other. Cycling made social online. Absolutely amazing here. Now we do have Badur here, 9 watts per kilogram, just trying to hang on, it looks like, to Strzezinski's wheel as he continues to put out this incessant pace at the front here, 180 beats per minute. Now, Quentin LaFay here, 5.6 watts per kilogram, able to stay away about 6 seconds from Amblard, continues to go out little by little. Very solid effort here coming from LaFay, who'd been resting for the duration of the entire, it looked like, loop before this final time, up and over the top here, just waiting to see what would happen with the gap for his teammates. And then as soon as they hit the hill, made his attack to try and get on toward the top of the climb faster than the rest of the chase group. So looking for that third place out there today. In the B category, then, we do have, it looks like, a few of the riders just heading in to their climb out on Box Hill here, as this is the front runners in the B category. We'll come back to the A's in just a moment. We don't want to mess any of the action, though, from the B boys here, as we do have Harrison here, 3.9 watts per kilogram. Solid effort coming from him with Barry, and then Bain, Mardos, as well as Murray. And then 1 second back, it will be Murray here. He's going to have to grab back on those wheels pretty quickly. 136 beats per minute. Probably has quite a bit to work with here, and we'll close it down fairly quickly, unless he's got a fairly low max heart rate. Pelosi was out in no man's land for a long time. He's been able to hold off Jay, Rich, and Nagy and the rest here by about 19 seconds. So going to be a race of truth for him all the way to the line, as this is the final time up and over the top of Box Hill today. Mardo is now 4.8 watts per kilogram, followed by Bain, Harrison now, Barry, and Murray, though, 4 seconds back. 143, climbing little by little is that heart rate here. 367 watts, and it looks like the only riders here are C. Harrison and Jay Rich that have kept their wattage low enough in order to stay within the category limits today. So 3.9 watts per kilogram coming from Jay Rich, who is a part of the main chase group out there that's containing Gannon, Nagy, Ulegard. It looks like Sternfalk, as well as Bierlin out of Germany. These front runners, they will all be getting upgrades. 5.2 watts per kilogram coming from D. Murray there. That is a crazy, crazy effort, and definitely going to be needing a Zada approval, I would think, as anybody over 5 watts per kilogram definitely gets a little check mark, says, hey, where's the pro contract? And we should maybe do a little checkup on a couple of strain gauge power meter files from real life. If you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, ZwiftPower.com is where all of these results up above me are coming from. They are populated live, actually, with page that actually has live race results that are continually populated from inside of Zwift. And so the that website then is monitored by race organizers, and there is a group that has gotten together called Zwift Anti-Doping Association that just makes sure that things are, keeping the playing field at least as level as they possibly can, and just checking in on some of the efforts that get thrown out there. When you start throwing out over 5 watts per kilogram, there's a little bit of a flag that goes out to zwiftpower.com, and you get relegated until you can go ahead and show, hey, I've got real power meter files from real life, strain gauge power meter files that I've produced in real life that can show that I can put out this kind of wattage. A lot of times, it's not that people are trying to cheat or anything like that. A lot of times people make accusations. I think most of the time, it's just that people don't understand the power numbers that they are throwing out because they've never worked with a power meter before. A lot of times, if you can put out 5 watts per kilogram, I'd be really, really surprised if you didn't already have a strain gauge power meter in real life. And then if you do not, then you obviously wouldn't understand what kind of what those numbers are meaning, at least in a really integral understanding of them. So you get a little flag there, and then people just say, hey, from Zada, let's get a check on this and make things right. And they do not actually try and keep people from racing. They actually work with these people. It's an amazing organization. They actually work with them to see what the comparison is from those real life files that they get to what you're actually putting out in the game. And then they just have you make some adjustments so that it evens out to what you can actually put out in real life. At least that's the initial way that they try and work on it. Of course, there's always an encouragement to get a better power source then for the racing. And, for right now, it is all for an awesome workout and a little bit of kudos for the wins out there. But it's all about getting a crazy, awesome workout, pushing each other out there today. As you do see, it looks like Straczynski, 174 beats per minute, killing it. I think Purdue's having an issue maybe with his heart rate monitors. We did see him up into the 180s for a moment there. Then it is dropping, so it may be a little bit off today for some reason. Purdue usually has a solidly high heart rate for the efforts that he is putting out there for sure. But as you can see here, this will be the 2 front runners, and I think we may be seeing a sprint effort here today. Adam Webb is hanging out in the Facebook, and it looks like, guys, sorry, lost internet totally. Still down, was feeling good also. Sorry to hear that, Webb. Good to see you hanging out in the broadcast, though. We do see Kev Stevens saying, Shane Mate was backing you as well. Nightmare, Kevin sounds like was rooting for Mr. Adam Webb. I do see a whole lot of chat going on over at the Twitch channel. Looks like we do have a newer viewer. It looks like Kawa Espresso. Good to see you. Sunday here, there's a climb race in my area, HC Climb. I hope my Zwift training will help. I find that it helps a ton, especially if you do have a smart trainer that can push against your force, or you do any force work out on Zwift. Low cadence with high power push does help a ton, especially those kind of intervals. A lot of times I'll use those for my climbing if I can't get outside for some solid climbs. I definitely can simulate that though with repeats on the Watopia Mountain or Box Hill. I do that a lot actually during the winter or just late at night because I can't get out for a ride. All right, we're coming into the finish line now. We do have Straczynski here and Bador making their way underneath the underground. Quentin Lefebvre about 2 minutes back. He's going to have one heck of an effort to hold off Omblard as well as Burton here, 17 seconds back from them. It looks like they were able to drop off Schwartz, who's about 43 seconds back from this leading group. 7.4 watts per kilogram coming from him, trying to grab onto that wheel that's right in front of him. Not a rider who's a part of the race, but just looking for some sort of reprieve. Omblard along with Burton, though, solid 3.2 watts per kilogram at the front of this race. Quentin Lefebvre 13 seconds up from them, still trying to hold on to this gap that he formed over the top of Box Hill. He was trying to get away for that third place. He got it out to about 20 to 30 seconds, but now they're closing down very quickly, and this is going to be one heck of a day for Quentin reluctant for him to try and just a huge effort here to try and hold off Burton here. 10 seconds back. That's all it is now at this point. We do see Badur now making that attack here over Szczynski. Szczynski trying to hold that wheel, but it looks like Badur is going to be gone now. 7.9 watts per kilogram. This is a crazy attack way early. Not looking for any kind of a sprint with this other rider, Szczynski now. Szczynski now trying to make the chase, but it looks like Badur now is going to be able to get away. He may get a little bit of a Zada check, though, with the 4.8 watts per kilogram. He's currently putting up with this dynamic attack here. With a 141 or so. We have seen him pretty high in the heart rates, though, so he's going to maybe need to send in a few files with this one. But solid effort here coming from Badur here, 141. As I was saying, he might have a heart rate monitor issue, though. But we'll see. It's still putting down a solid effort here for quite a few meters, up into that 400 beats or 400 watts or so. Szczynski now here, 10 seconds back at this point, is not going to be able to grab it back to Badur's wheel. Lefay now here in third place here, 8.1 watts per kilogram up and out of the underground, but it is only 2 seconds between him and Amblard at this point. He's going to have continuance after this uphill gradient out of the underground. A little bit of a spike in the heart rate there, trying to hold them off. 4 seconds is the difference now. Do they have anything left to make this chase? Can they work together? 5 watts per kilogram. They see him right around the corner there. This is for that third place on the podium now today. Badur's going to be taken first for provisional results, followed by Peter Szczynski. We've got all kinds of craziness coming out of the underground here in this chase group with Fleetwood and TM, as well as McIntosh. Now the Hedgehog goes from the KRT team, trying to make a little bit of a gap before they head to the Tower Bridge. But now moving forward back to the front, we've got Lefay with 7 seconds, though. Amblard and Burton here trying to close it back down, but Quinn Lefay just steady here. Well, steady, we'll see how steady he can hold. 284 watts or so, 4.5 watts per kilogram. The TFC boy unable to pull at the same kind of wattage. Amblard now coming around 165 beats per minute. Looks like he's got a little bit more left in the tank. The Burton now kicks it into 5.4 watts per kilogram. Has to close it down right now as they're running out of landscape before the finish today in the A category race. So we'll see if they can hang on to this effort to close it down to Quentin Lefay. Not sure it's going to happen, though. And it looks like Lefay now 6.0. Amblard now kicks again. Burton unable to hold the wheel. He's got an arrow power up, though, boys and girls. Kiss Racing fully gamified, has all the RNG that you could want as far as grabbing those power ups. And Lefay with only 5 seconds, he's going to have to kick before the line here. 187 beats per minute. He's heading towards his max already. These boys are coming on like a freight train. Not sure he's going to hold them off. It's 3 seconds. It's going to be 2 in just a second here as Burton still has 7 watts per kilogram, 8 watts per kilogram to give. He sees the wheel there. It goes right by Amblard. Amblard's now dropped off. Lefay now trying to hold on to orange numbers. Burton there's got 7.8 watts per kilogram for this last place on the podium. Will he grab it? Lefay, though, able to hold it off just barely, it looks like, to the line. And it looks like Lefay 193. What an effort from both of them as Burton 189 crosses the line. Amblard will be taken 5th. What an effort from those riders there for that 3rd place between Quentin Lefay. What a battle all the way to the line. Now we're going to have another battle, though, heating up here with, it looks like, I believe, Fleetwood and the rest. We're moving our way back here. Here they are. Fleetwood with Schwartz now 21 seconds up. It looks like that's going to be for that 6th place. Fleetwood now ramping it up, though. 174 beats per minute. It looks like McIntosh, though, coming on as well. Then there goes Root Riders, though. 14 watts per kilogram. McIntosh coming as well. There he goes, right on by from the lead out. Fleetwood just let everybody out. Not even sure if he's able to hold off the Hedgehog at the finish line. Full-on sacrifice from the front there, coming from Fleetwood. Did he hold it off? I'm not sure, even for that last place out there today. As we work our way back, we're going to see what's happening with the front end of the B race, as we do have, it looks like, a top view of the underground, actually. Here we do have D. Murray going to be getting a solid upgrade, I believe. 4.8 watts per kilogram coming from Murray. 157 beats per minute. Solid performance here from the front of this B category as they make their way through the underground and up toward this solid, I believe it gets into that 14% gradient or so. Let's take a look here real quick as they do kick uphill. There it goes into 14%, 15% 10% gradient. Now, D. Murray attacking, 9.1 watts per kilogram. Mardo is now 7.7. Bain, 8.1. Harrison, now 9.8. These are definitely A category numbers, so lots of upgrades are going to be coming to these B boys here today. I think Murray actually jumped into the wrong race on accident, as he's got A in his name right now. So maybe just a misclick there, and happens to be riding against the rest of these boys out here today. 4.8 watts per kilogram or so at the front. So D. Murray most likely going to be taking the win if he can get away from these boys. 3 seconds back, it will be Mardo. So we're going to follow the actual front of the race here as we look over the shoulder of Mardo's. Looks like it is going to be a group of 4 now as they make their way to the line. Mardo's, Bain, Harrison, and then Pelosi is going to be actually a group of 3 then, excuse me, because Pelosi is 104 back from the rest of the group here. And go Sonic Boom KRT. Louis Dindale saying nice dig, Rick. Barbera is in the chat as well. Good to see you, Rick, hanging out over at the Facebook chat on Zwift's Facebook page. Let's go ahead and see if we got any more chat coming through. It does look like Kyle Augustine actually from Innovation Cycles. Unlucky Web saved for Thursday. We can all battle then. Awesome riding up to then, however. Jason Emery's in there as well saying bad luck. Adam, good to see all of the chat and you guys hanging out over there. Bain representing the Roanoke area. Good to see you, Frank the Tank, over at the Twitch channel. Looks like we've got a whole lot of chatter going on over at the Twitch channel. Again, if you haven't done so already, make sure to check out our Twitch channel for live notifications anytime that we do go live. If you follow us over on Twitch, you are going to get an email directly to you for all of the ZCL broadcasts. You can also get HD 1080 quality over there as well as a chat that is a lot more functional because of the streaming platform that Twitch is. Harrison now, it looks like, battling it out to the line here with these other 3. Again, these boys will all be getting upgrades, so the win will most likely be going to Byerlin or a couple of the other chasers, but we'll follow them up for the finish. Murray did just follow across the line. We do have Bain here coming at 8.1 watts per kilogram. Solid effort there. Then it looks like he's going to be... Mardo is actually followed by Harrison and then Bain for this B category finish. We're going to see if we can move our way backwards, though, and find the rest of the B riders here as they finish up today. Looks like Johnny is selling hot dogs over at the Johnny Noblet, hanging out over at one of our mods over at the Twitch channel, is selling hot dogs. Larry Hot Dogs saying chatter, chatter. Good to see you guys having fun over there for sure. Pelosi now making his way to the line, 25 seconds up from S. Berry. Solid effort there from Pelosi. Been out in no man's land, I believe, for a full lap and a half, actually. So crazy race of truth against himself in that solo TT-like effort as he makes his way to the line. 3.1 watts per kilogram. Pelosi is going to be holding on to about 4.4, though, it looks like, for the duration of the race. So maybe be getting an upgrade. We do have Barry here making his way to the line. Sternfalk trying to make that chase. 15 watts per kilogram. What is happening? He's been saving this all the way to the line. Sebastian Sternfalk with that arrow power-up. What an effort here into that 4.1. Gets an upgrade, I believe. We'll give him a ride on there. BRT Gannon boy here trying to chase that down. Not going to happen as Gannon makes his way to the line. Able to get away from Jay Rich. Jay Rich here, 6.0 watts per kilogram as well. Looks like he's going to be getting the better of Bearland here, I think, for 9th place, I believe, as Bearland and Ullagard are making their way to the line. Jay Rich here, solid effort there, able to hold down for 9th, I believe. Bearland now going to be taking 10th, I think, as there was one that slipped in between all of them there for the results that are right above me, but we'll get the results coming up in just a moment. Ullagard now just crossed the line somewhere within the top 10, I believe. Nagy here going to be just outside the top 10, followed by Fireland. Fireland might be able to grab him, that last spot at the line if he's got the effort here. Up and out of the saddle, both the riders go, but it looks like Nagy timed it just right to hold off the Swedish rider there. So a little ways back then, we do have, it looks like S. Hyde. Nope, he's a part of a WBR race. We do have PS in here, though, doing a cool down from the A race. We do have it, then it looks like L. Springett here, followed by Harrison. Battle right to the line, it looks like, for these boys, and it looks like it will be Nussbaum here, just ahead of our guy and a few of the others. Solid effort all around from the riders today. We do have our provisional results. We are actually going to start with the D results. I believe we'll start with the D results today, as they will be the first ones that were across. Them and the C's will be the first ones that were able to cross the line today. We did follow the A's and the B's, but we want to make sure to be grabbing the rest of the riders. Now, have these riders finished yet? Let's go ahead and load the C's here. Are they actually doing 2 laps? Did I get that incorrect? I am seeing here. I'm going to go ahead and open up zwiftpower.com really quickly and just make sure that I did not get that incorrect, because they may still be out on course right now, hammering away in the KISS race. It looks like we do have London Loop 1 lap, London Loop 1 lap. So these riders should have finished today. We do have, it looks like Gregor and Nicodemus, followed by Andy Cole and then Eric Vandenbroek out there for the top 3 in the C category. In the D category, then it does look like we have Bart Van Loon, followed by Stefan Brony, and then Mikey Neville for the top 3. Again, these riders will be getting upgrades. 2.5 watts per kilogram is the max. So Nikolai Kurchenko, followed by John Polchulopek, and then Martin. There will be the top 3 most likely for these riders. A little ways down then, let's go ahead and merge in the women's category, as we do have results for them as well. Looks like we've got at the front a rider at 4.7 watts per kilogram, followed by Charlotte Backus, and then Kate Sarah, Lindy Gray, and then S. Samuelson out there today. Looks like Samuelson never got going out there today, but that is the top 4 today for the women. Zwiftpower.com for some reason populating a little odd there for the first place, so sorry about getting the name incorrect, but there will be a serious upgrade as a C category rider with 4.7 watts per kilogram. In the A category results, the main 2 races that we did broadcast and watch today, it says that we've got Jeff Labrador to 4.9 watts per kilogram, just underneath that 5.0, but most likely going to need send in maybe some strain gauge power meter files with the crazy amount of effort that we saw at the front, right on the edge there. Needs a tag, I believe, there. Peter Shazinski 5.0, going to need a tag on that one as well with some Zada approval. If they do not have those, if the race organizers do grab them for relegation, say, hey, let's check this out. Quentin Lefay will be the winner then, followed by Matthew Burton and Nicholas Amblard. Solid results all around in that A category. As we were saying, 4.0 watts per kilogram or higher is the assumption for this A category. As you can see on the right hand side, the top 15 all holding right around that. In the B category, then we can go ahead and see how the results did play out. We do have at the front Darren Murray 4.9, 4.3, 4.4. Wow, looking down all the way through to Richard Gannon. John Rich, first one across the line under category limits. So a lot of upgrades there coming for the top 8. If you are looking at these results after your race, make sure to check that out, zwiftpower.com, and jump into the correct category. Looks like Darren just selected the wrong race on accident. He does have A in his name, but make sure that you boys do get that upgrade going and get that better workout. And it's actually a congratulations, and it's actually a good thing, as you'll be pushed even harder in the A category. In the A category, those who are not making the front group are going to have more people to race against who might not be putting out quite as much power as those boys are at the front. So it does look like John Rich, numero uno, Marcus Berlin taking that 10th place, but maybe with an upgrade. Casper Ellegard then for 3rd, I believe. These are provisional results, so that's what I'm guessing at as far as the race organizers would go. That will be it then for our race coverage today. If you have any questions, shoot them my way right now before we take off. Again, great job to all the racers. That was a solid effort. That's what it's all about, is getting a crazy awesome workout out there out on Zwift. And Louis Dinsdale saying, loving the graphics integration with Zwift Power. Ace work, guys. Go on EFWBR from Stephen Tweed. Nice racing video. Thomas Shaw is saying, good to see you, Thomas Shaw, hanging out there, and we appreciate the compliment. When are you going to introduce new tracks? Jacobo Bond, I think there's some stuff coming. There was a little hint actually in the last update. There was a little hint actually about that in one of the updates recently out to Zwift actually. So I would definitely just be on the lookout for some of the latest coming from Zwift, as I believe we are about to see some pretty cool stuff coming down the line from them. It does look like we do have a couple more questions here coming through here from Zwift Community Live. Equip replays coming up. Jonathan Nabit saying, oh yeah, okay, so that's another thing we want to cover real quick. We are heading into 24/7 streaming, just so you know, over on Zwift Community Live. So we will be having replays from the eCrit series this morning, as well as Life and Cycling with Mrs. Coach, if you missed that episode. Always starting to head into, anytime you head on over to the Zwift Community Live Twitch channel, a 24/7 broadcast. So make sure to head on over there if you missed any of the action from today. See if there's any other comments here. Thanks a lot. Appreciate the comment there from Zwift on letting everybody know that the replays are on the way. Can you race and do commentary at the same time? I'd watch that, Larry Hot Dog says. No, that's a comment from the Twitch channel. I've tried one time. It worked okay. Not really great, though. It didn't work really great. So it does get a little bit difficult trying to pull that off. So again, thanks everybody for tuning in. As always, great job to all of the racers out there. And we will see you all. We'll see you all tomorrow for the SCR Racing Series out on Zwift. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow. SCR Racing Series. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and congratulations to all the riders. And as always, ride on.